Welcome back. Today we're getting carpet for the master bedroom and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this room to be 100% complete. After the carpet's in, the last thing we're going to need to do is the trim, and then this room will be 100% done and I'll be so relieved. I'm ready to move on to other projects, but the installer should be here soon, so let's see how this goes. So the last clip you saw was about 2 weeks ago when we got our new carpet. We have finally bought all of our trim and baseboards, and I'm actually going to be staining them. We went with an unfinished wood. So yeah, today I'm going to be staining them, and then in a few days I will seal them, and then this weekend we will be installing them. Yeah, unfortunately staining wood is a multi-day process, but I think it's going to turn out really nice. First, I'm going to start off with doing a light sand just to get rid of any roughness. After I was done sanding, I went through with a rag just to wipe off any dust that was on there. So that way when the stain goes on, it goes on perfectly. Now I'm going to move on to the pre-stain. I started out with the pre-stain. I just used an old cut-up t-shirt to apply it. Pre-stain makes it so that the stain doesn't turn out as blotchy. Now I'm going to start applying the stain, also using an old cut-up t-shirt. I'm using Minwax Provincial as the color. I've used it before and I really like the warm brown tone. It's not really red or orangey, it is more of a true brown. For the window and door trim, we ended up going with a white wood. I've never put this stain on this kind of wood. It's not turning out exactly how I wanted, but it is close enough. For the baseboards, we went with a pine, which I have used the Minwax Provincial stain on pine before, and I really loved how it's turned out in the past, and I wanted to continue using that color. I am staining the front and the back of the boards, that way will help prevent any warping. break while these boards dry for a bit. I do need to run to the store and get some work done and also get dinner started. So while the trim dries, I will go ahead and do all that stuff. Now we're going to work on the baseboards. 2 of them are 16 feet long and it is taking up half the dining room and into our pantry. So thankfully I only have 5 baseboard boards. So hopefully this goes a little bit quicker. Also, it is a way smoother finish, so I don't even really feel like I need to sand it. But yeah, we're going to go for round 2. Actually might need to sand the edges. There are a few splinters, but like the actual back in front of it, those are very smooth. Alright, we're going to go through the same process of pre-staining and then staining it. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break because I need to get my potatoes and carrots in the oven. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back to do the other side. So it's 2 days later. I ended up doing 2 coats of stain because I didn't like how light the first coat turned out. I've used this color before and on this type of wood, and I don't know, this time around it just wasn't turning out like it normally does. So I ended up doing 2 coats. Now I'm going to move on to doing the top coat, and then in the morning we're going to install these boards. So I had planned on installing the trim for this video, but we were having issues with our nail gun and nothing in this room is square, so it was taking significantly longer than expected. So that will end up being next week's video. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next Sunday.